How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to LOOTastic and to another Loot Fix video. Loot Fix is a series where we briefly talk about a game that I'm currently playing to get my addiction to loot quenched. These titles are games that I find interesting and have some form of loot in them, so much so that I feel like showing it off to you. Maybe you'll want to pick it up for your very own Loot Fix. Today we are looking at Portal Knights. In this 3D sandbox RPG with the most charming graphics, you are placed into a world thrown into chaos by an event known as the Fracture. You create your own character, choose your own class from warrior, ranger, or mage, and set out on an adventure filled to the brim with real-time tactical combat, leveling up, dungeon crawling, building, crafting, and most importantly, loot grabbing. You can play online with 4 people or play 2-player split screen, which I highly recommend. Playing with friends on this game is amazing. A friend of mine recommended Portal Knights to me when the Steam Winter Sale was going on, and I checked it out, and what really caught my eye was the dungeons, the chests you could find, the gear you could find, the loot. No matter what game, loot always gets me. No matter what game, no matter what genre. Portal Knights is big on RPG elements. There is tons of leveling up, unlocking skills, crafting, questing. There is lots to do. I went into Portal Knights knowing almost none of that. I was only fixated on the loot, but the entire game works together so well that I became super addicted to it immediately, got it on PS4 too, got 2 of my other friends into it, created new games with them, and now I have 3 characters, and I'm loving every bit of it. It's good, relaxing, fun, with randomly generated worlds and dungeons that always feel unique, and are always filled with loot to find and secrets to uncover. Now that we've briefly talked about what Portal Knights is, let's get into the loot and how loot and gear is implemented. Each class, warrior, ranger, and mage, have their own armor sets and weapon types you can craft. Head, arms, chest, legs, cape, and ring are all the armor slots, and there are a bunch of different weapons for each class, ranged and close-up weapons, and there is also vanity slots for cosmetic purposes. Crafting has a tiered-based system. If your crafting workbench is upgraded to tier 2, you can craft tier 2 weapons and armor, and so on. Upgrading your workbench costs valuable material that you can only find by exploring different worlds. Certain armor and weapons can only be used by the correct class. Now, I've played around a total of 30 hours, spread across 3 different characters, so there is still a ton I've yet to do or find, but so far, all the loot I've found in dungeons and chests or from killing enemies can be used by all classes. The loot you find is probably more so tailored to which class you are playing, that way you don't feel punished for playing a certain class when you get loot that you can't use. The best loot you can get in Portal Knights is from the randomly generated dungeons, chests, and special events. Most islands you travel to have dungeons. Some are small and may take you only a few minutes to get through, and some are full of paths to take and secrets to find. All dungeons are full of enemies to fight and chests to locate. You might get to the end of a dungeon and find a chest, or get to the end and find nothing, meaning there is a hidden chest or chests somewhere down there you have to find. The deeper you go into a dungeon, the better the loot gets. Chests vary in sizes as well. The larger the chest, the better the loot. Chests can be filled with money, potions, crafting recipes, pets, cosmetics, armor, weapons, furniture, really anything. There is a bunch of armor and weapons you can find to add to your arsenal. Most give you different bonuses, like more health or more defense, and some give you additional talents that are more gameplay oriented, like plus 5% defense for each enemy around you, a perk I got on an armor piece for my warrior just a few days ago. Even after 30 hours, I still find the dungeon exploring super fun. Exploring a dungeon with a friend, getting lost, looking for secret chests, racing to find the chest first, it's a blast of an experience that I don't see getting old anytime soon. Another avenue for lots of loot is the special events and random events. Special events take place during a certain time of year. Currently, during the writing of this, the spring event is going on. The spring event brings you to a few new islands where there are new quests to do, unique loot to find, and lots of new crafting recipes to learn. There are also random events that can show up anytime. These also award you with loot, whether it has you finding secret chests, killing certain enemies, or interacting with new merchants who sell rare items. So, if you are looking for a loot fix, give Portal Knights a go. The dungeon crawling and the loot, although simple, has me hooked, and the crafting and leveling gameplay loop is addicting, especially with friends. There is a lot more I still have yet to experience in the game, but so far I'm having a fantastic time just relaxing and looting in Portal Knights. There is DLC and future content planned for Portal Knights as well, so there is much more to come. Once I've played Portal Knights to its fullest, I'll be making a loot review video on it, so stay tuned for that sometime later this year. I will leave links to the Portal Knights official website and the Steam page if you want to check it out in a bit more detail. Portal Knights is also out on everything, so you can play it on Steam, PC, you can play it on PlayStation, Xbox One, you can play it on Nintendo Switch even, so you've got a lot of avenues. As always, this video was brought to you by LOOTastic, where you get all the legendary loot news and info free of charge, no grind or limbs required. Like the video for an epic crossbow, and subscribe for a lifetime supply of legendary shards. Until next time, happy looting.